Think big and achieve big. Think small, achieve small. I'm sure you would have heard this hundreds of times in your tenure, in your lifetime. Well, friends, let me tell you that wherever you are, whatever you are earning today, whatever you have achieved so far, it has come out only by mere of your thinking patterns, which means your success or the size of your success is directly linked to the size of your thinking. Yes, friends, today in this topic, I'm going to talk to you about how big thinking, how that big thinking can make a lot of difference in your life, in your career, in your family life, in your professional lives, and you can achieve more and more. And it is just by changing the way you think. Now, there are a lot of things that happens in this because, as I said, a lot of people know about what thinking is and how big thinking can turn around things for people. I'm sure you would have heard from a lot of motivational leaders all about this. But when it comes to thinking big, a lot of people withdraw. They talk about it, but they don't go for it. They don't want to do it. And there could be many reasons. Well, friends, my name is Arun. I'm a life and a leadership coach. And today in this video, I'm going to take you through the secrets of thinking big, how you can start thinking big, how you can bring that change in your lifestyle, in the way that you work, and you can become super successful. I'm sure you would get a lot out of this content if you follow the entire series of Thinking Big, which I'm going to record and I'm going to share with you all. So don't go anywhere. It's going to be like 2 or 3 episodes where I will be covering this topic end to end. And I can assure you, I can give you the guarantee with my own personal experience that if you follow some of the tips and some of the secrets, some of the hacks that I'm going to share in this, it's surely going to change the way you have been doing things so far. So don't go anywhere. Stick to this channel. Watch the entire episode end to end. And then I want you to share your feedbacks and tell me that has it really helped you? Did it make any difference to you? Why people don't think big? What exactly stops them to think big, in spite of the fact that they know that thinking big can really turn around things for them? So I'm going to take you the 12 important hacks or 12 important reasons that why, in spite of knowing that thinking big can change their life, why people stop themselves, they withdraw when the thought of doing big things come to their minds. I'm also going to tell you some of my personal stories, that how things have changed for me and how I was going through the same situations. But the moment I started working on the thinking process, the quality thinking process, a lot of things started to change. So let me share some of the thoughts with you. I think so. Why people fail to think or fail or hard to think bigger? The number one reason that comes to my mind is the fear of failure. Now, come what may, a lot of people feel that, if they start doing bigger things in their life, they will feel that if they fail, what will happen? If the stakes are becoming so higher, and if they lose out their money, if they lose out their time, what will happen? So the fear of failure is something that scares people a lot. And in all my coaching sessions that I do, I tell people the first mantra that you really want to be successful is that fail first and fail fast. Or in other words, you have to try out different things, and you will now, even if you fail in those, you will now understand that how there are different ways that you can achieve things. You can tell a lot of people your learning curve will be stronger and bigger, and it will really help you to improve a lot. So if you fear failure, definitely thinking big will become very difficult. The next reason why people hard to think big is because they feel that if they think big, the things will become complicated. The things will not be the same as they are doing it in a simpler way. They fear going into the complicated world, that how currently their things are going so easy, but if they move into the next level, it's definitely complicated, because you will be encountering some bigger tasks to achieve, and that's what scares people, and that's why they feel it is going to be complicated. The third reason is it's time consuming. Yes, When you think big, when you have to do bigger tasks, it's definitely time consuming. But let me tell you, the rewards that you get out of thinking big is something bigger, something very big. So it's worth investing your time, because as I said, if you think big, you achieve big. But if you think small, you'll be happy with small. And I'm sure everybody wants to work harder to reach higher in their careers, higher in their life, achieve higher goals. And in order to do so, you need to be patient, that it's a long-term game. It's a journey. It's not a destination that you will just go from A to B. It's A to Z. This is what you need to think about it. The third reason why people, the fourth reason is that it brings in their mind that it's not their cup of tea. It's very difficult to reach that point. And that difficulties build up, and your internal voice says, no, let's settle down for less. And that's why people do not want to take big thinking or doing bigger things in their life, because they feel that it is difficult to get there. Now, if you continuously have this kind of thoughts, you will always stop yourself to achieve bigger things. You always settle down with minimum things or whatever that can work out your way. As I said, it is complicated, it is complex. So I'm sure when you have to think big, you have to achieve bigger things, you really have to put your mind into something which is going to be complex. But let me tell you, the reality is, as you start doing things, they are not that complex. You will find that it's much easier than you thought. Only thing is, you really need to take the first step. It's really, you need to move into that direction, and then you find that this journey is something new, is something that you have been fearing all your life, but it was not that fearful. It was always easy, but from the outside, it will look very complicated. Next, overwhelming. So people get restless when they see that, there are so many things that they have to do. People feel very uncomfortable when they feel that they have to do a lot of things, and they get overwhelmed with so many things going on at the same time. So the best thing is, calm yourself, take smaller steps, have small milestones, and then go after it consistently, one after another, one after another, one after another. And continuously, when you look at it in the long term, you will find that it was not that difficult as you were thinking. And you would get into the hack of doing things in a bigger way. The next reason is intimidating. Intimidating is all about fear. If I get into that space, I think I will be, if I fail, what people will talk about it. If I am not able to achieve it, what people think about it. My dear friend, even now people are thinking about it, that you are not able to do bigger things. At least you had the guts to take forward your steps to move into that direction. So if you have that intimidation in your mind, you will always feel scared, and you will always stop yourself, that how am I going to do it? So the simplest answer is, you really need to work out that how you can take those small steps to become and reach that goal of thinking big. Pressure and stress. Yes, for sure. Once you move out of your comfort zone, you are inviting pressure and stress, and that pressure and stress is definitely required, because basis that you start bringing new challenges in your mind, because you are moving from a comfortable zone to an uncomfortable zone. And as you move into an uncomfortable zone, initially it is always difficult. So let's take an example. If you want to start running today, or if you want to go to a gym today, you cannot build your body overnight. You really need to start taking smaller steps and achieve things. But if you try to do everything together in a short span, and you want to see that, things should come to you immediately, then definitely it will invite a lot of stress and pressure. Because when you see others achieving bigger things, and you are standing there in spite of so much of hard work, so much of effort, and you are still not getting it, it will bring stress and pressure. But the simplest way to do is have small milestones, be consistent, be clear, be passionate about the goal that you have in your mind, and then there is nothing that will stop you. The next reason is fear. People have fear, as I've been telling continuously, fear of failure, fear of what people will say, fear of that if you don't achieve it, what will you tell to yourself, fear of many things that you can't even think about it. So this fear is actually a human behavior. It is meant to be there. But if this fear grows, and if you continuously encourage fear to come in your mind, then you won't be able to do it. So for example, I remember when I quit my job and I entered into my own business 10 years back, I thought that, what people will say, that Arun could not do much, Arun failed, Arun, all those thoughts were running in my mind, and I started going into a shell. And I thought that maybe I have taken a wrong call. I should have worked in my job. I could have grown there. The amount of effort that I'm going to put in the next years are not going to give me the fruit that I thought I could do it in my job. These thoughts were running in my mind. But eventually, what these thoughts were doing is they were killing my goal, my thought process. They were taking me down. And the moment I started working on this fear factor by focusing on what I have to deliver, what exactly I have to do, there was no stopping at all. And I could easily win over my own fears. And today, in 10 years' time, I'm standing and sharing all my thoughts that I have gone through. And the next point is health impacts. A lot of time people fail to think big because they feel that it will really impact their health. Now you would be wondering how the health will come into thinking big. Well, the simplest answer is that when you have to think big, you have to really move out of your comfort zone. So it might be that you might have to work extra amount of hours. Probably you have to work or wake up more in the night and do extra efforts to achieve those big things. Or maybe you have to get up early, or you have to slog more than your current pattern of doing things. Now, in order to do that extra, a lot of people say that, okay, my sleep will be sacrificed, my food will be sacrificed, my discipline of getting up for a morning walk may sacrifice, depending on what kind of goals that you have set up. Or it may be vice versa, that I might get late to my office if I really have to focus on my health and I want to achieve the target of reducing my body weight by 10 or 20 kg. It can be anything like that. And that can lead to health impact, mental health impact, physical health impact. There could be many things. But then what is important for you? Your important thing in your life is to achieve that bigger goal in your life, which you have believed that can change the way you work, that can change your way of currently doing things. And that's why thinking big is so very important. So definitely, if those concerns are stopping you, you will again go back to your comfort zone and you feel that, okay, this is good. I don't have to do all that because it will impact my health. But it may not be that case, because your goal is something that will attract you. Otherwise, it will not make you, it will not allow you to sleep also, because in your mind, in your body, you will always have that guilt that why I'm still not doing it. So that's the power of thinking big when you have those thoughts running in your mind. The next part is that 11th is time away from friends and families. I think this is something a lot of people fail to accept, but they know in their heart of heart that they feel that if they have to sacrifice on achieving bigger things, they have to sacrifice their time with your family or friends. So let's say you want to reduce your weight. You have decided that this year you want to remain healthy and fit, and you would not be eating all that unnecessary fast foods or junk food for that matter. Now, in that way, you would definitely have to sacrifice a lot of parties, a lot of get-togethers with your friends and families. And that guilt is there inside that if I don't go there, if I'm breaking away, things will not going to work. And that's where you say, okay, one party, one function, one dinner, or one meal will not make things. And slowly and steadily, you dilute your way of doing things. This is what, if you can change in your way of thinking, then you can achieve those big goals. No wonders a lot of people struggle and they are not able to achieve those big things just because these smaller things kill the way they do things. So if this is one of the things is bothering you, then thinking big will become a challenge. And then people, in spite of knowing that thinking big is important, they are not able to achieve. And the last point is uncertainty and doubt. So I only believe in one thing, there are only outcomes. There is no certainty. Well, having said that, a lot of people have self-doubt because once they are not too sure about their goal, and if these kind of fear of failures, uncertainties are growing in their mind, they become doubtful whether it will happen or it will not happen, whether I will be able to reach that point or not. And once this self-doubt start cropping up, you kill yourself. You feel that, it's not doable, it's not possible. And that doubt gives you that signal inside that, okay, let's settle for less. So friends, if I look at all these 12 reasons, I clearly see that why people are not able to think big. And that's why they remain where they are, and they still keep looking at those stars, those superstars, how they have been able to achieve those superlative performance. But when it comes to sacrificing their comfort zone, they don't want to. Keeping all the reasons in front of you, they are not able to achieve their desired objectives. And that's where, the whole situation changes for them. Well, if this makes sense to you, I'm going to take you to the next session. Be there with me and move to the next session, where I will tell you that what is the thinking process, how it works, how it changes things for all of us. And I'm going to share my own story, that how a lot of things changed with me when I started my career, or I started my entrepreneurship journey. And then I reached the most important thing of my life, achieving Everest Base Camp, going to the top, achieving something bigger things in my life, which I have never done, being an entrepreneur today, being a coach today. It was all very difficult. I was just like you. I was just going here and there and had no idea how to take things ahead. But then when I started working on my thinking, it really changed. So coming up in the next episode is all about my story, and then how you can learn from those stories and then really bring that challenge and that thinking in your mind to transform yourself. Stay there and don't go anywhere.